And I am very excited to welcome to the stage one of my absolute favourites. Allie Daniel is here, everybody. I love your voice. I'm obsessed with your voice. I have been for a very long time.
Thank you. That's so kind of you to say.
I was trying to remember the first time I saw you on stage, and I was thinking, no, I was already aware of you by this point, and it's because it wasn't on stage in person. It was via screen.
Disenchanted.
It was not Disenchanted. Was not what I was going to say. It was Rent at the Hotel.
Oh my gosh, one of my favourite jobs of all time.
Yeah.
Like a little time bubble of loveliness.
Yeah, for people who don't know, this was, I mean, talking about shows getting interrupted, barely in performances, and then everything got shut down, so you made a movie.
Yeah, we had under 7, like something so depressing, like a tiny amount of performances. But it had that energy of things when things are just, they've all come together and it's like, you are doing a show about artists creating art during an epidemic, and we were artists creating art during an epidemic. So it had that, like, it was so meaningful, and I met some incredible people, so it was a good time. So I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Brilliant cast as well. That was Tom Francis, one of his first gigs before he started walking around the Savoy Theatre, and now...
I think it might have been his first job?
I think it may have been, yeah.
Oh, Adam Pascal Reborn. Honestly, just so amazing. It was one of those, like, you sit around, for those of you that didn't get to see it, you, like, sit around the stage and you have to, like, be engaged the whole time. Not actually dissimilar to what I do now.
Yeah.
So I got to watch him do it every day. Like, all of these iconic people doing iconic things every day. It was amazing.
Yeah, you were giving us the life support scene, among other moments.
Paula.
Yeah.
They changed it from Paul to Paula for me.
Yeah.
Oh, ally share. No, I'm being sarcastic, but actually really lovely. I transitioned during lockdown, so it was like my first foray into performance, because I did some forbidden jobs that we don't talk about pre-transition. But this was like my first, like, hello everyone, here I am. It's me. I'm gonna sing and dance. And it was amazing. What a group of people to, like, be around while you're, like, finding your feet as who you are. And what a show to do.
Before we talk about Hadestown, which you're currently starring in, which you've been with since it came back over here to the Lyric Theatre last year. Before we get onto that, from the very profound and moving Rent, something equally joyous but in a very different way, Legally Blonde Outdoors.
Legally Blonde Outdoors with a set of what looked like corn. We were just talking about the set earlier. Now listen, I will have no Legally Blonde slander. The vibes on that job were just immaculate. So much fun, iconic choreography.
How was the pollen count?
The pollen... Oh my goodness. Unacceptable. A rug of pollen. Dear L! It was absolutely diabolical. How people, like, how people do that, how we did that.
And Regent's Park is a magical space, and we talked about this last month, and I will always talk about Regent's Park Open Air Theatre, but for years they've staged all of these classic shows, and it's like Carousel in the outdoors, and The Sound of Music in the outdoors, and those scores were not written for people to be belting at this part of their range in the middle of the day in the blistering sunshine with hay fever happening at the same time.
Yeah, and we had heat waves, we had the lot. We actually didn't have any rain shows, which was great. It tried, God. It's an extreme sport, performing outside. Do
you want to tell us which iconic character you played?
I played Courtney, the
gasp, not the gasp.
A gay gasp. I played Courtney can I swear? The shop bitch. I mean, Scandal, the big one.
You can say that.
No, like, the one Blanche made commission so easy. That was me, and that was great fun.
Yeah, and Billy Nevers giving an all-time, like, Hall of Fame Courtney Take Your Break.
The most iconic choices.
Talk about a scene partner giving you material to work with.
Oh, so good. Just ignore her. She hasn't been well. So iconic.
But it was your face as well when Courtney Bowman, real life Courtney, calls you out for it, and you do the turn forwards and just.
Yeah, I feel like I'm quite cartoony facially. I'm quite malleable. I think I grew up watching a lot of, like, Jim Carrey and, like, The Grinch. So I think that kind of informed a lot of my like styles of, I don't know, moments like that. So
yeah. Cut to me seeing you at the Edinburgh Fringe dressed as a penguin.
There we are.
Acting.
Character acting. Happy Meal. Wow. I think that was, my first time playing. I mean, in my head, secretly, like, all my characters are trans. Meta, I don't know, not really. But this is the first time I'd, like, played a kind of, had a coming of age romance, a trans romance. It was the most, like, meaningful, deeply touching, stupid, funny, wonderful little play. And had a great time. We did a regional tour of a 200 trans play. Couldn't be done now. No. Couldn't be done now, darling. No, it was so much fun. Sam Creera, who I played opposite with, was actually just at the Globe. Love that. And I think they're now doing their school's versions of Happy Meal.
Wow.
Yeah. How crazy. They've been like commissioned. Somewhere there's been a trans coming of age play at a school. Oh. Yeah. Like not even a patronising like actually that's really touching. How beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was the first time I met you in person.
Yes.
We were in the lobby of the Traverse and I was like, hello, I know who you are.
Yeah. And that was pre How to Succeed happened afterwards.
How to Succeed happened, I mean, the years, they do blur.
Uh-huh.
Yes, that was after that. And after Legally Blonde.
Yeah. How
to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying. When I say that doing a kind of like a dry, sarcastic comedy in a very, very intimate space is incredibly hard. The design of that show is to be like so satirical. And I feel like, I don't know if people like fully got it. I thought it was hilariously fun. And I wore a wig that looked like an octopus. So it was just great times all round. And that was my first like proper role to play. It was so much fun.
You were fantastic in that show.
Thank you.
And it was exciting because we see these revivals and then to see something with like new, vital, queer energy in something classic and old-timey it's fun. It's just nice to see a different way of looking at it that empowers these brilliant performances.
Totally. And Tracy Bennett playing Bigley.
Oh, yeah.
Just the most
unhinged
in the most amazing way.
Yeah.
Trans Rosemary. It was really good fun. We had a good time.
What was it like going in? Was it explicitly on the casting? Because in terms of the whole production, how it's put together was very much like breaking down the traditional way that we would look at gender in that show. What was, I guess, the casting process like and building that character from your perspective?
It was one of those, I think it's a conversation that I think could have maybe gone on and on and on because I think it's very meta. Like I know I did just not 5 minutes ago say that all my characters are trans. I lied. I don't think I specifically played this as trans, but if I did, it was like, I can't hide the fact that I'm trans, so obviously that's what people are going to see. But what is my body in this space saying about what does that add to the words I'm saying, the way that it's constructed, the kind of the way the jokes are being told, the way the romance is being told, how is that kind of coming together with what you physically see and how does that all become a thing? But I think in terms of the casting process, I can't remember how long ago it was, about 2-3 years ago, I suddenly allowed myself to not stop caring, but I absolved myself of the responsibility of this has got to be the best audition I ever do. And in doing so, it allowed me to kind of be a lot more authentically unhinged in audition rooms, and I think I was just really unhinged. Yeah. Just make some really crazy choices, and it paid off.
On that then, what was the audition like for Hadestown?
I knew this was coming. I had kind of, they'd announced that Hadestown is coming to the West End, and I was sniffing around, I think the audition's going to be coming soon. But I had facial feminization surgery right over when the first round of auditions were. Uh-huh. So what did I do? Before I even got an audition, I pre-filmed self-tapes.
Wow.
Yes, I did. I was like, I'm not letting this pass me by. This is for me. This was for me, and I was not letting it passing me by. Okay. So I pre-filmed tapes, and I didn't play the accordion. I learnt the accordion for the show. But I played the piano, which is basically the accordion, but just the other
sideways,
way.
Yeah.
And I arranged something on the piano a little like folk song. And I gave it to my agent and I said, I'm going to be uncontactable for 3 weeks while I recover from having my head cut open. And sure enough, on the plane home, I got the email from my agent, the auditions come in, you've been submitted, now we wait. Tell me why I was doing a dance call of When the Chips Are Down, like 3 weeks and 2 days after full surgery.
Wow.
But I mean, the thing is, it's not really a cardio, so it's fine. It's just lots of like witchy wooing here and there, which I'm particularly good at, I think. And I let them know. I said, in the spirit of trans inclusivity, like I have just had facial feminization surgery, so if I need to sit down, that's how it's going to be. And they were like, yeah, like fine.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, cool. And it just flew by. I felt so in my bag, as the kids say. I felt so in my bag in those auditions, and I actually had a lot of fun. And I think it paid off because they gave me the job, and I'm still here.
And you are fantastic in the show, and when that first cast came out, and we were like, Allie's going to be great in this.
Oh, that's so kind of you.
Your voice and that score and the serving face of it all, I think. It's a great costume for you.
Jennifer Coolidge was about to come through me there. Yeah. I'm not quite sure what.
Channeling her.
Yeah, she was really there.
She'd be great in Hadestown.
Who would she play?
Hermes.
To know how it ends and still begin to sing it again. As if it might turn out this time. Oh. I learned that from a friend of mine.
She's here. She moves through me often, actually.
Persephone is too at her fingertips. She needs the chat. She needs...
Yeah.
Because if Jennifer Coolidge is on stage, there's no one who can play Hermes and kind of be that more controlling presence. No one has that in them. So you play one of the fates.
I do. I play Fate 3, the accordion fate.
Have you ever corresponded with the performer whose fault it is that you have to play the accordion? Because this is from the development of the show. Like, the reason that those fates play those specific instruments is because of the people who developed the roles.
No correspondence with the originals. I mean, they didn't reply to all of the threats that I sent. How dare you made me play the accordion? No, but, Hadestown actually has like a long, 10-year... history, back to being in a bus on Vermont, with Aeneas, just and a little guitar, So I think it I wonder if it developed out of a need of needing to expand the band, and then actually slowly they realised that it really worked having these characters that, sometimes they play instruments. What does that mean? And they sing in these killer harmonies. So one day I'll receive a reply to my thing. Yeah. No, it's not that bad. Just lots of physio on the shoulders.
Sure.
Yeah, it's not that bad. The song I played for my audition was harder than anything I play in the show. I know that sounds like a huge brag. It's not. I was fuming. I was ready. I was like, okay. But it was both hands, and I was singing along. Got to the first day of rehearsals, and I was like, Minims? Open notes? Thanks, Aeneas. No.
You know what's going to happen now is years down the line, they're going to do act muso shows. You're going to be like, we need someone who can play accordion. They're going to go, do you remember who played accordion in Hadestown and is going to be great at this?
Not me.
Yeah.
No, I couldn't possibly. No. No, I don't think it's going to be going on my spotlight.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be going on my CV.
And when you're not being Fate 3, you're also understudying the role of Hermes.
Yes.
Which I got to see you do. I got to see you do... She Hermes.
Thank you. A pronoun joke.
That took me a minute. I got to see you do it last summer, the first day that you played the role.
The only day.
During that first year, yeah. And this was August? July?
August the 8th. It was a rogue day.
Yeah.
It was simultaneously the best day ever and just another day at the office. I was so hungry and ready, and I had so much fun. Walking in the footsteps of Melanie Labarre, icon, queen. I felt very certain about the kind of Hermes I wanted to be, and still do feel very sure about what I want to say with that.
Yeah.
So I had a great time, and you were there.
I was.
You saw it.
I had tickets to go and see Romeo and Juliet with Tom Holland for the second time, and I didn't even sell it. I gave it away. I handed it to a friend. I was like, Grace, you want this? I'm running down Shaftesbury Avenue. and I ran to the Lyric Theatre box office. And I was like, "What do you have left?" And they were like, "No, we have some tickets. It's okay. It's not." It was raining. I was dramatic.
I love that you thought it was going to be like, we have the back of the balcony.
Yeah.
Allie's on, so it's all gone. No, that's so touching to hear that kind of little story about, you know, trying to come and see me do it. And I will say, shout out to they don't have a collective name, but the Hadestown fans are truly like loyal, wonderful, very, very kind people. So it was a really great audience to perform to.
Oh, I met so many people before the show and in the interval who were there to see you do it and were so excited that it was finally happening. And we were just like, isn't it good, like how she does this at this moment? And oh my gosh. And
that's so crazy. Wow. It's just little old me being like, hello.
I mean, you're so talented, and a lot of the excitement alongside it as well is in that show, and in particular with Hermes, it's so malleable and you get to bring so many different qualities to it. I mean, look at the first recasting. It was Andre de Shields, Tony Award winner, and then Lilias White. That alone is a big pivot.
What an amazing, crazy casting choice. I think it's always been super interesting. Even like Mel to Cedric is like amazing. I do want to very quickly talk about like being trans playing Hermes. I think when we think of like trans people telling stories, I don't know if we always think about trans people as community leaders or parenting, but not in the role of mother or father or you know what I mean? Like that, and that's for me very much what I have discovered for it. And I think I feel very grateful that they've let me do that, like carve out my own version of that. And that they let all the Hermes do their own version in that way. Has anyone come and seen this cast of Hadestown? Anyone seen Cedric? I have never been on stage with live vocals like that before in my life.
Oh my God!
Circa the first year of Hadestown, 4 of you in the building playing Hermes, very different costuming. And
totally
different pronouns at different performances, because Mel was using like gender-neutral pronouncing the whole show.
Yes.
I think, yeah.
I don't think Mel was so much playing a gender-neutral Hermes as I think she wanted her Hermes to be a storyteller where the focus wasn't gender.
Which is very much what I got from it, yeah.
And that's kind of similar to me. I feel like they said, you can be Mrs. Hermes if you want, because I refer to myself as she, her all the time. And I was like, well, I don't really want to be Mrs. Hermes because that implies the existence of a Mr. Hermes. And I'm not just like the wife Hermes. Do you know what I mean? Like
Mrs. Claus.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? No, I'm Hermes, bitch. So like when I go on, like that's the vibe. And I did want them to not have to change too many pronouns because I don't know, the fear of it being like misgendered on stage is like very real.
Sure.
But there's actually not that many.
Is there another can we do like Madam Hermes? Like
No, because that sounds a bit like salacious. Do you know what I mean?
Opening up a saloon, yeah.
Why don't you come up and tell the story sometime? Yeah. They do say, down there is a bunch of stiffs, sister, I'll be bored to death, instead of brother, which I love. Which, by the way, Gloria Anitri did on the fly. She did it on the fly. I was gagged. Because we hadn't discussed it, but I think because she was referring to me directly in that moment, and she just turned to me and went, sister, and I was like... Yeah, lovely.
You've had some very exciting months recently at Hadestown with the whole new cast joining, but before that, an exciting few weeks with the original Broadway principal cast coming over here, and I was at that first performance, and that was like a rock concert crowd.
Every day. Every show, every day was like, what? The Fates were in-ear monitors in the show, little IEMs, because we play instruments and also because we get fed our note for nothing changes. I basically had to have mine off. I couldn't hear any cues. I couldn't hear anything because the screaming was so loud. Wow. I've never done anything like it. It was so overstimulating. It was so intense. But I mean, you know, I'm not complaining about having amazing applause. That would be ridiculous. That honestly was some of the most surreal month of my life. Getting to do a show that you love so much and that you're currently doing with the people and the voices that made you fall in love with the show. It's amazing. And they're nice.
Yeah.
Such an hilarious group of people. So lovely. I learned a lot of lessons. Also, I don't even know anything about like the stereotypes of American actors versus English actors. I think the main thing that I've come away with that is like, if you need something, you can ask for it. If you need something, you can say, hey, can I have this? Whereas the British way is very much to be like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Have you got 2 minutes? No, no worries. Well, actually, you see, would it be at all possible if I could maybe just like, please, like maybe just like have my shoes that I need to wear for this show?
And I'm sorry I asked. I'm so sorry.
No. Oh, no, absolutely don't worry about it. I'll just wear my trainers. I'll wear my trainers. Whereas I feel like spending 5 minutes with them and you're like, oh no, I can actually be like, hey, can I have my shoes? Yeah. Thank you. I learned so much about Hadestown. I learned so much about the lore of all of these characters, all the little moments, why Persephone does this when she puts her hand through the bag, why the Fates do this, why this, like all these like tiny things like filming the show with Rachel Chavkin, with all of these people here, like it was just absolutely amazing. Though I will say, never ever will I again do what is effectively a cast change into a pro shot during a cast change. I have never rehearsed so much in my life.
To put this in perspective, you're doing the show, they're rehearsing the new company in for the cast change, you're rehearsing with them because you're continuing with the show, you're rehearsing for the pro shot at the same time, filming the pro shot, just all day, every day, just Hadestown, 24 hours of your life. It was
a time. It was a time. I learned a lot about resting. I learned a lot about what, because this is my first like year-long contract. Already learning a lot about what it takes to do that. 8 shows a week. And then suddenly you've got a schedule that is for the next like 3 months solid of like 10 till 10 of like minute tiny changes that are so, and listen, I love it. Tell me what to do, I love it. But they're so tiny. They're so like, so at the moment, the way you're looking is like this way, but I need you to lead it with this side of your jaw and to look just over your nose like this because that's the status of the Fates. What an amazing note to get. So detailed and lovely. Really, really hard to remember that when it's like 9:30 in like a filming day and you've been doing like another version of the show before and you're like, okay, no, that's absolutely fine. I'm going to remember that. No, absolutely, I'll remember that along with the other. It was amazing.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see the film in 2054.
Exactly, yeah. But now that it's done, and now you're back to just doing the show, normal schedule, what does it mean to you, personally and professionally, to forever be a part of the Hadestown pro shot that there is going to be?
Oh my gosh. It's everything. It's so surreal. When they told us, I was like, no, me. It's incredible. I feel like it was being able to do it with so many of the old cast and then with the new cast and bonding with them and having this experience, and because they all left, the original Broadway company of Hadestown all left, they didn't all leave at the same time. So I think for them it was like a kind of last hurrah to like revisit and put their final full stop on the sentence that was the show for them. It's amazing. And like I said, I can't wait to see it in 25 years when it comes out.
Exactly.
I mean, that's not actually the time. I just, like, I want to see it now, but these things take time. Yeah, I feel very, very, very lucky.
Do you have dates for when you might be playing? I mean,
Hermes.
You can find Allie in
Yes,
Hadestown.
I do.
I'll say them now. Go for it.
As Jennifer Coolidge or just as me?
I think we need clarity in this moment.
Just as me. From May the 16th to May 25th of this year, I will be going on as Hermes. Thank you very much. Come and see me.
There you go.
For 10 more seconds, I'm MickeyJoTheatre. Oh my god, hey, thanks for watching, have a stagey day. Subscribe!